The smartphone industry stands on the precipice of one of the most anticipated technological transitions in over a decade as Apple prepares to officially reveal its first-ever foldable device, heavily rumored to be branded as the iPhone Ultra or iPhone Fold. For years, mobile technology enthusiasts and casual users alike have watched the foldable market evolve through several generations of hardware iterations, primarily driven by Android manufacturers refining hinge designs, display durability, and multitasking software. However, Apple's deliberate patience in entering this category reflects a long-standing corporate philosophy. Rather than rushing to be first to market with an unproven form factor, the Cupertino tech giant prefers to wait until key underlying technologies such as crease minimization, structural durability, power efficiency, and internal component layout reach an absolute threshold of refinement. The upcoming iPhone Ultra represents the culmination of years of secret research, patent developments, and engineering breakthroughs, aiming to redefine what users expect from an ultra-premium mobile computing experience by bridging the gap between a sleek daily smartphone and an expansive, tablet-sized workspace. When examining the physical architecture and overall form factor of the iPhone Ultra, direct comparisons with established foldable devices give us a clear baseline for understanding Apple's design direction. Form factors in the foldable world generally fall into two categories: compact flip-style devices or book-style expanding devices. The iPhone Ultra leans firmly into the book-style wallet form factor, designed to offer a standard smartphone cover screen on the outside while opening horizontally like a notebook to reveal a massive internal display canvas. Current industry benchmarks highlight how slim and lightweight book-style foldables have become, but Apple's structural implementation brings distinct engineering decisions to the table. A key element of Apple's physical design is the seamless integration of built-in MagSafe magnetic arrays directly within the ultra-thin rear casing. Unlike third-party solutions that require external magnetic rings or specialized cases, Apple has chosen to maintain its wireless charging and accessory ecosystem within the primary chassis. Adding these precision-aligned magnets requires a slight adjustment to the overall thickness of the rear shell, but it ensures that users will not have to sacrifice their favorite MagSafe wallets, desk stands, or fast wireless chargers when transitioning to this new foldable paradigm. The dual-display configuration of the iPhone Ultra is engineered to deliver two complete, compromise-free user experiences depending on whether the device is closed or unfolded. On the exterior cover, users will interact with a display measuring between 5.3 and 5.5 inches along the diagonal. This external screen is purposely designed with a familiar, ergonomic aspect ratio that allows for single-handed typing, quick message replies, navigation, and camera previews without feeling awkward or overly narrow. Once the device is opened, the interior unveils an expansive, flexible OLED panel measuring anywhere between 7.6 and 7.8 inches. This internal display transforms the device into a pocketable iPad-like workstation, perfect for immersive video playback, split-screen multitasking, document editing, and mobile gaming. Apple's display engineering team has reportedly focused heavily on panel efficiency, utilizing advanced LTPO backplane technology capable of dynamically scaling refresh rates from a battery-saving 1 Hz all the way up to a buttery-smooth 120 Hz promotion, ensuring that driving nearly 8 inches of screen real estate does not severely compromise daily battery endurance. Perhaps the single most critical reason for Apple's delayed entry into the foldable market has been the engineering challenge of display creasing, the visible and tactile indentation that forms along the midpoint of flexible screens where they bend. Apple's solution arrives in the form of an state-of-the-art liquid hinge architecture crafted from a high-strength composite of aircraft-grade aluminum and lightweight titanium. This multi-axis hinge mechanism allows the flexible display glass to form a gentle teardrop radius inside the chassis when closed, rather than bending at a harsh, acute angle. As a result, when the iPhone Ultra is opened completely flat, the crease is rendered virtually invisible during normal, everyday viewing angles. The subtle reflection of the crease is only perceptible if the screen is turned off and held directly against harsh overhead lighting. By virtually eliminating both the physical seam bump under your thumb and the visual distraction during video playback, Apple addresses one of the primary complaints consumers have held against foldable displays since their inception. In terms of aesthetics and material finishes, Apple is taking a focused, ultra-premium approach with the launch colorways for the iPhone Ultra. Rather than offering a wide palette of vibrant, consumer-focused colors, the first-generation Ultra model will strictly reflect high-end industrial design, matching its high price tag and enthusiast positioning. Reports indicate that Apple will offer two main color variations, a classic silver and white combination featuring exposed polished metallic edges, and a sophisticated space gray or dark titanium finish with deep matte tones. Both colorways take full advantage of the durable titanium aluminum alloy frame, which not only provides immense torsional rigidity to protect the sensitive internal folding mechanics but also offers a tactile, premium hand feel while keeping the overall mass of the device as light as possible. This restrained color philosophy aligns directly with Apple's established branding strategy for Tier 1 devices like the Apple Watch Ultra, emphasizing utility, strength, and timeless luxury over casual color trends. Biometric security on the iPhone Ultra represents a significant departure from modern flagship iPhones, marking the temporary setting aside of front-facing true-depth Face ID hardware in favor of a reimagined Touch ID experience. Due to the ultra-thin nature of both display halves and the narrow bezel targets surrounding the primary foldable panel, housing the bulky laser projectors and infrared cameras required for 3D facial recognition on both the inside and outside screens posed major mechanical and spatial hurdles. Instead, Apple is integrating a fast, capacitive Touch ID fingerprint sensor directly into the side-mounted power button, drawing direct design inspiration from the iPad mini and iPad Air lineup. This placement allows users to instantly unlock the device, authenticate Apple Pay transactions, and fill passwords with a natural thumb or index finger press regardless of whether the phone is closed in one hand or fully unfolded on a desk. Powering a dual-screen foldable requires an innovative internal energy solution, and Apple has addressed this by implementing a dual battery architecture split across both halves of the folding chassis. The total combined battery capacity sits at approximately 4,883 mAh, distributed unevenly between two distinct battery cells connected by a high-efficiency ribbon bridge. The smaller cell, packed behind the cover screen section, carries a capacity of roughly 1,921 mAh, while the larger cell on the opposing side houses 2,962 mAh. This asymmetrical split is carefully calculated to balance the overall weight distribution of the phone in hand while maximizing every millimeter of available cavity space around the hinge mechanics and camera modules. While the total capacity falls just shy of the massive single-cell batteries found in top-tier traditional Pro Max models, the overall endurance of the Ultra is projected to easily surpass standard Pro iPhones, comfortably lasting a full day of heavy multiscreen usage. Battery efficiency on the iPhone Ultra is further augmented by Apple's next-generation silicon, headlined by the groundbreaking A20 Pro Chip. Manufactured on TSMC's cutting-edge 2nm process node, the A20 Pro represents a fundamental architecture redesign built from the ground up rather than a simple die shrink of previous chip generations. By transitioning down to the 2nm threshold, the physical dimensions of individual transistors and resistors inside the silicon are reduced by nearly 50% compared to the 3nm A19 Pro. This extreme transistor density allows Apple's chip designers to pack billions more processing gates into the same footprint while reducing power leakage significantly. In practical terms, the A20 Pro delivers an estimated 20% to 30% increase in power efficiency alongside substantial leaps in single-core CPU performance and graphics capabilities, ensuring the device runs cool even when driving complex multi-window workflows on the larger display. To support heavy multitasking, background computing, and complex on-device artificial intelligence workloads, the iPhone Ultra is equipped with 12 GB of high-speed unified memory. Having a generous memory buffer is essential for a book-style foldable, as users frequently run multiple active applications side by side, pull up floating utility windows, and seamlessly transition active app states from the smaller cover screen to the full inner display without reload delays. Coupled with the expanded memory hardware, Apple is also incorporating its proprietary custom silicon chips for wireless communication, specifically the custom C2 or C2X 5G baseband modem and the N2 next-generation connectivity processor. By replacing third-party modems with in-house custom cellular and wireless chips, Apple gains granular software-hardware optimization over radio power states, preventing the severe battery drain traditionally associated with 5G data transmission on high-resolution portable screens. Camera hardware on the iPhone Ultra reflects a carefully balanced trade-off between optical performance and physical depth limitations. Because a foldable chassis must be sliced into two remarkably thin halves to ensure the combined folded device remains comfortable in a pocket, housing deep periscope telephoto lens assemblies is physically challenging. As a result, the rear camera system on the iPhone Ultra features a dual-sensor layout consisting of a primary 48-megapixel wide-angle sensor and a 48-megapixel ultra-wide sensor, utilizing Apple's latest image processing pipeline and sensor shift stabilization. For self-portraits and video conferencing, the device features two dedicated front-facing snappers, one embedded in a subtle hole-punch cutout on the cover screen and another on the internal folding display, ensuring clear video call quality regardless of how you hold or orient the device during work or personal calls. Looking at the prospective launch timeline and pricing dynamics, the iPhone Ultra is slated for an official announcement during Apple's traditional September keynote window, with reveal dates anticipated around September 8th or 9th. However, consumer availability may follow a staggered release cadence similar to the historical rollout of the original iPhone X. While standard flagship models like the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max may ship within 10 days of the announcement around Friday, September 18th, the iPhone Ultra could potentially experience a slight market delay of several weeks as manufacturing plants ramp up production yields on the complex liquid hinge and flexible OLED displays. When it comes to cost, early industry projections targeting a sub-$2000 price point have been recalibrated upwards due to global supply chain pressures, rising high-bandwidth RAM costs, and elevated pricing on advanced 2nm silicon wafers. As a result, the iPhone Ultra is expected to enter the market at an ultra-premium starting price between $2,299 and $2,500, positioning it firmly as Apple's most ambitious, technologically advanced, and exclusive mobile device to date.